All right, I have a little company today. All right, you guys, sit down. Here, sweetie, sit down. All right, you guys. So by the title, you already know this is a continuation from the last video where I talked about why are the thrift store prices so high? And boy, did you guys give me a lot of feedback, and I appreciate that. It was very eye-opening to me about what people felt about why the thrift store prices are so high. And so today, I want to talk to you about how you can save money thrifting. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but that's where we are right now. And we're just going to lean into it and deal with it. And I'm here to help and talk to you about the ways that you can save money thrifting. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then stand by and we'll get right into it. Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. In my last video where I talked about how the thrift store prices were so high, we had a great conversation in the chat about reasons surrounding that. So that's why I felt like it was super important for me to come back and give you some solutions to this problem, this issue, or this situation that we are currently in, that honestly, I don't think it's going anywhere. So if you agree and you feel like thrifting is becoming a little bit more expensive, then I'm here to help you with it and think through some ideas that can help you save money while you're thrifting. I've got some tips and tricks. Let's dive right in. First up, I want you guys to shop smart. We shop smart when we're shopping in regular retail, and I think that has to apply to shopping in thrift stores. So that means you need to be aware of the sale days. Keep those in your calendar. Most stores will have a 50% off day or a $1 day, and you want to make sure that you don't miss those discounted days. Also, when you're in the store, talk to the store employees, because a lot of times they know what's going on and they're willing to tell you when the big sales are happening, when's the best day to shop, when's the best time to shop, when's like a light day. Ask them questions like that. This will really help your thrift experience, and you could find out about any special offers. Another way to save, and I alluded to this in my video last week, is shopping estate sales. What I like about estate sales is that you never know what you're going to find. Like, you think you don't know what you're going to find at the thrift store, but man, at an estate sale, you can be blown away. And y'all saw what I got at that last estate sale. Incredible, right? You can haggle a little at the estate sale. So you might get to the register and your bill might be $50. If you're getting a lot of stuff, the estate sale person might say, hey, you know, what if I take $5 off? That's what happened to me when I went yesterday to an estate sale. My bill was $57, and she's like, how about I take $5 off? She could tell that I was debating on whether or not I was actually going to get the pieces or not. And so that's one way that you can save. Another thing you want to keep in mind about estate sales is that they usually go 2 or 3 days. On the last day, usually everything is discounted because they don't want to have to pack all that stuff up and take it to the thrift store or set it out for the trash. They want people to buy. They're trying to make as much money as possible, and you can haggle even more. Now, granted, you go on the last day, things have probably been picked over, but not everybody is looking for the same thing that you're looking for. And another option is flea markets. Flea markets the same way. You can haggle over prices. You can ask people, is that your best price? Some of you guys out there are pretty good at it. I'm not a great haggler. I'm like, look, if that's what you ask for, that's what I'm going to give you. But sometimes, especially at estate sales, I'm like, hey, you know, I think I'll put this piece back. I'm kind of on a budget, and then they'll cut me some slack. But I am going to take you guys to an indoor flea market that's happening here in Chicago in a couple of episodes. I like it because even though it's like 5 degrees outside, you can be inside this warm flea market, and maybe we'll do a little haggling there. So the next thing I want you to think about is timing. Timing is everything. Remember when I talked about how to thrift like a pro? If you haven't watched that video, I will put a card right here. In How to Thrift Like a Pro, one of the things I told you guys was to get to the thrift store early. Be the first one there so you get to see what is going on. Talk to the employees, scope out the store. Some thrift stores, maybe not some of the bigger names, some of them may not offer this, but some of the smaller thrift stores may be offering discounts on seasonal items. And that's another thing that I tell you guys about how to thrift like a pro. Shop off season. Off season is key because sometimes these things are marked down 60, 70%. Don't sleep on those sundresses and sandals. Get them now while it's cold outside and people are just trying to get rid of inventory because they know that they want to make room for new inventory. And then lastly, I want to also mention about Poshmark specifically, maybe eBay as well. I don't buy a lot on eBay, but I do buy some things on eBay. On Poshmark, you can also negotiate. You can also make an offer to a seller and see if that seller will give you the piece at that price. I recently made an offer on a really nice cowboy hat for like $19. They wanted $30, but I went down because I've got to pay shipping. That's also a bummer when it comes to Poshmark, but I try to negotiate that into the price when I'm talking with a seller on Poshmark. So that's another place that you can negotiate. Some sellers offer free shipping, so always be on the lookout for that. For example, you guys, over on Poshmark, I saw these sandals that I have not seen in Zara for years. When I saw them, I wish I had picked them up. I slept on them. And I found these sandals and the seller wanted for a while an exorbitant amount of money. Over the summer, like $170. I eventually got the seller down to like $65 or $70 and free shipping. A shoe that if you go out there and you look for this shoe on Poshmark, you will see there are a lot of sellers out there selling this shoe for way more. This shoe was in my size. Clearly, it is winter, and the shoe never been worn. Never been worn. This is what I mean by shopping off season and haggling and getting the price down. But again, this is another way that you can save on those pieces that you really, really love. I personally follow Poshmark sellers that are not gouging those prices or overpricing things to make this huge, huge profit, that in some cases, they're just trying to make a sale. I will never sell these on Poshmark because they will be on my feet and you guys will see these all summer long. Guaranteed. All right, you guys. Now, my last advice around how to save money thrifting is to shop your local Goodwill outlet. Most of these outlets are either in the suburbs or, a little bit outside of a major metropolitan area. And I have posted several videos about shopping at the bins. And if you have the patience and you have the skill to be able to search out pieces, this is a great way to save on thrifting. Now, at my particular Goodwill outlet, you put everything on the scale when you get to the register, and it's $1.59 a pound up to 50 pounds. If you buy over 50 pounds, it's $1.29 a pound. And I found that most pieces of clothing will be under a pound. Now, of course, your jeans and coats and heavier things are going to be more than a pound, but that's a great way to save, especially if you have the patience and tolerance and wherewithal and eye. That's the thing. You got to have the eye for good pieces to shop successfully at the Goodwill bins. And then lastly, I want to just circle back to what I talked about in the beginning of this video when we talked about some of the concerns that have come up with the thrift store prices. A lot of you mentioned in the comments that resellers were to blame. And honestly, that is just a small portion of the reason that the prices in the thrift stores have gone up. And I have to defend the resellers because I actually enjoy buying from resellers. And like I said, I don't have to look for it. They've already curated it. It's almost like I'm paying for a service, and I don't really mind, because thrifting and buying secondhand, the idea of it is so much on the rise. That has also contributed to it. Don't forget about operational costs. Thrifting is now more popular. It takes more people to run a store. Does mean that you have to be more strategic about how you shop. So we got to get over it. We got to get past it. We got to move on, because we still want to get those unique and special items out there in those vintage, in those secondhand, in those thrift shops. We still want to get the best deals. Here's a few bonus tips to think about. Shop off season. Buy coats in the summer and swimwear in the winter for major discounts. 2, go thrifting in smaller towns. Sometimes you can get better deals in small towns. You guys saw when I went to Iowa, you can get things for much lower prices. Join the loyalty programs. My Goodwill has a loyalty program. Every dollar I spend, I get points. I get to use those points towards my next purchase. Be patient and be persistent. Great finds don't always come and happen immediately, but with some patience, you can score big. And lastly, thrifting is not only a way to save money, but it's also a chance to find unique, one-of-a-kind items that truly reflect your style. I hope these tips help you make the most of your thrifting adventures while still staying on budget. If you've got a favorite money-saving tip, post that below. Share that with the community. I would love to hear what some of your thoughts and ideas are about saving money. Now, I hope that these tips, thoughts, and ideas about how you can save your coins while you're thrifting, I hope this was helpful to you. And if you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an episode. All right, you guys, see you in the next one. Bye.